Hello, this is retired U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant Kevin L. Barnes. I am reporting that I was kidnapped in Terminal 1 of Manila Airport, October 28th at 10 p.m. Tackled to the ground. I'm a 90% service-connected disabled veteran, Iraq veteran. I was tackled to the ground by at least 15 guys, and at least another 15 were filming this. This happened right in front of the walkway entrance to Starbucks in Terminal 1. I was walking from the Little Flower restaurant to a Bacala shop around the corner, and I was tackled to the ground, handcuffed, all my things taken out of my pockets. They were thrown into a backpack, and I was removed to an elevator that went to the basement, and from the basement went to some boxcar that elevated to the back of PR 104, Philippine Airlines Flight 104, that went to San Francisco. At least 5 guys went on this boxcar. They went into the aircraft. They tapped on the door. They opened the rear of the aircraft. I'm handcuffed, and I stayed handcuffed for 12 hours. Even if I had to use the restroom, I still was handcuffed. These people were not wearing uniforms, but these are Bureau of Immigration, Centaur Security, and Philippine Airlines. Who's behind this? Lucio Tan. Richard NUTTALL, President of Philippine Airlines. Lucio Tan, the CEO of Philippine Airlines. The owners of Centaur Security. Now, I went to Philippines 13 March. And I was told, if you're going to fight this imaginary blacklist they had from Ricardo Andaya, I had to have a lawyer. So I have a lawyer. I have 2 sets of lawyers. One wrote a writ of habeas corpus. I am the first one ever to beat Philippine Airlines and Bureau of Immigration using writ of habeas corpus. The first one apparently in the history of the Philippines. Hard to believe. Now, Richard NUTTALL, he is British. I used an 815-year-old law, common law, out of England from the days of longbows, crossbows, armor, and swords. And I used it on him, and I won. Albert T. Cancino, he said I was free to leave that illegal prison that's on the 4th floor of Manila Terminal 1. And I have had 5 fire department come from Manila, inspect that room. It's way over capacity. It has an illegal wall in it. It has chairs that are illegally there, according to the map. They have to be removed. The wall has to be removed. And they've locked out the elevator, even though there's a gentleman there, an American, President Trump, an American who has diabetes and only one leg. And they make him use the stairs. And I'm pretty sure on the 27th, I seen that asshole, Lucio Tan, walk into that illegal prison, because I was visiting the Americans up there, see how they're doing. And every day I was checking, is the elevator still locked out between the 3rd floor and the 4th floor? And yes, it was. So the fire department are going to do something about this. That wall's going to get torn out, the chairs are going to get removed. And the capacity of that room, according to them, may be just 25. Well, many times there's 20 guards in there. So with the 8 Burundis that have been there for 2 years, they're 3 over. They cannot have this extortion, kidnapping operation where they kidnap people, tell them you have to fly home, pay them $2,000 that goes into the bank account of Philippine Airlines. That's what's happening. And the problem they have is Ricardo Andaya is caught in a lie. When he put that blacklist on me in January 6th of 2010, I was never in Philippines at that time. This is my first time there. He was not an ambassador anymore. He was selling maids in Kuwait. NBI, which is like our FBI, came to Kuwait. Came to Kuwait. Saw what he was doing, selling the maids $2,000 to $3,000 each, personally profiting, And he had 1,600 maids stacked up in 2 large Kuwaiti houses that were being used for the embassy. So they come back. They reported their findings to the Philippine government. Ricardo Andaya was recalled and fired. Well, normally in a normal country, not a corrupt country like Philippines, this guy would never get a job even as a dog catcher. But where does he get a job? He gets a job as executive director inside of Department of Foreign Affairs. And from that position, he said he was an ambassador, but the paperwork will show he was not. And what we're going to see right here, Blacklist Order Reference Number MCL 10-004, issued 6 January 2010 by then Commissioner Marcelino C. Lebanon. They could never produce this, never produced it for Judge Albert T. Cancino. So without that, and without something called a CTR, or no, a CTR and a CRC, they couldn't prove anything. This is all hearsay. There is no blacklist. So Bureau of Immigration, they filed an appeal. All they put is, we appeal, according to my lawyers. That's all they put. So that appeal is in the process. That appeal is going on now. Albert T. Cancino, he made his ruling that I don't have to stay in that illegal prison, but that left me a prisoner of Terminal 1 while I'm waiting for the court case and these guys to comply with the court order that says, return my passport. They're not returning my passport. They're not returning the passport of Joseph Tsai, a billionaire from China who also used this writ of habeas corpus to beat Bureau of Immigration. And he is being held at the Philippine National Police headquarters, probably trying to extort $5 or $6 million out of him. But this ruling is absolute. And Philippine Airlines hates it because they have an illegal kidnapping extortion operation going on the 4th floor. So I got kidnapped, President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio. I was kidnapped in Manila Terminal 1. If they try to say I left earlier, I did not. You can see my bag tags, which I'm going to show here in a second. They say October 28th, and it's a 12-hour flight back to San Francisco. So they could not produce the MCL, the original blacklist. That was a lie. There was never any reason to be blacklisted. They are covering up for the human trafficking and the corruption of Ambassador Ricardo Andaya, who was ambassador to Kuwait in 2008 and 9. He was investigated by NBI, found to be trafficking, selling his own countrymen, the maids, for profit. A Visa 20 maid can never become a Visa 18 worker. Visa 18 worker has a 1-year contract, 30 days paid vacation, accommodations, sometimes food, and an airplane ticket many times back and forth to Philippines. A maid will never get that. They have a 1-year contract, no labor rights. All right, let's look at this. San Francisco, 28 October, right there. Manila to SFO, 28 October. Here's some more information. Here's some other tags that I believe they put on the 28th. Even says right here, Barnes, PR 104, 28 October. I was kidnapped. This has been reported to the FBI. There's going to be a more detailed report. The writ of habeas corpus, Westerners. We filed this case July 4th. Since July 4th, of course, that's our Independence Day. And who is the head of Philippine Airlines? British. Who won the American Revolution? Yeah, the Americans. So this guy's butthurt that he lost writ of habeas corpus, and it is Philippine Airlines that were holding my passport illegally. They were ordered to return it with this decision on August 5. On July 11th, I was supposed to go to court, and Centaur Security, you listen, DHS and TSA, Centaur Security Services is doing secondary screening for Philippine Airlines and flights going back to the United States and to Australia. They are compromised. They took a phone call from a Philippine Airlines lawyer at 8:35 in the morning, July 11th, and did not take me to court, even though there was an order like this from Judge Albert T. Cancino that came to them July 9th. And they did not take me. So Judge Albert T. Cancino, what did he do? He issued another order, bring Barnes to court on August 5. And that order went to Bureau of Immigration and Philippine Airlines, just like this. And did Bureau of Immigration take me to court? No, they violated the court order, did not take me to court. So within 5 hours, Judge Albert T. Cancino issued this. Now, a warning to Judge Albert T. Cancino, listen, when I was telling this to these kidnappers on board the airplane, they said immediately after I said this ruling was from Albert T. Cancino, they said he shouldn't have done that. He's going to get suspended. Well, I think Judge Albert T. Cancino may be in danger from the Mafia Bureau of Immigration and the Mafia Philippine Airlines, and maybe even the appeals court judge may be in danger. So, NBI, you should be watching out for your judges. These are threats coming from kidnappers, people that committed a felony, kidnapping me and taking me against my will when I have lawyers and a court case that is ongoing and was due to be decided probably in the next couple of weeks. And it wasn't going to look good. It was going to go the same way as Joseph Tsai. I was going to win. And I was going to be able to travel on to my next destination in Philippines. And I'll be back. I'll be coming back. Except we're going to have a restraining order against Centaur Security. That illegal prison will be shut down, Lucio Tan. Mark my words. Richard Nuttall, you better get running. They're going to be investigating you for kidnapping, buddy. Lucio Tan, we're going to have Philippine Airlines stripped from your ownership and the nepotism that you have. What, a son and grandson there? Probably don't know jack shit about the airline business. You're a kidnapper. You're a criminal, Lucio Tan. All the Tans, you're kidnappers. So this is going to get posted to X. And if you guys thought, Lucio Tan, if you thought you were getting bad press just from me sitting in the terminal saying boycott Philippine Airlines, collecting signatures, and oh, by the way, assholes, I have pictures of all those signatures, and they'll be getting posted. You'll find more on change.org to remove Lucio Tan as an owner. We already have one up there. You can go to change.org to sign the petition to remove Richard Nuttall. I was tackled and kidnapped at 10 p.m., 28 October in Terminal 1, Manila, Philippines. Philippine Airlines needs to be stopped from flying to the United States. They are kidnapping Americans. There's 2 Americans right now, a service-disabled veteran from Gulf War I, and also the diabetic with one leg. Both have Philippine wives, and they're trying to block them from coming into Philippines, even though they have Philippine wives, property and cars in the Philippines. President Trump, I believe these electronic voting machines have compromised the Philippine government, and the Chinese are in charge. In fact, Lucio Tan, to me, he looks Chinese. I believe Philippine Airlines is run by the Chinese, not by Richard Nuttall. It's owned by the Chinese. Lucio Tan, I believe, is Chinese from looking at him. And he knows I've seen him. I got him on video. I asked him to identify himself for the video. He walked in that illegal prison, walked down, looked at the locked out elevator, looked at the guy with one leg, shook his head, and walked out. Because he knows he's a total asshole for locking the elevator when there's disabled people that need to be able to use the elevator. Lucio Tan, you're getting reported to the FBI for kidnapping me. Richard Nuttall, you're getting reported to the FBI for kidnapping me and conspiracy for kidnapping. You mark my words. I'll be back there. We're going to win this case. We've already won it. The writ of habeas corpus is won. I am the first person of any nationality for the history of Philippines to beat Philippine immigration and Philippine Airlines with writ of habeas corpus. All you Westerners out there, if you run into these assholes in Bureau of Immigration and they say, we're going to send you back, you tell them, charge me, arrest me, give me a ticket, tell me the reason. Otherwise, I'm going to file a writ of habeas corpus on your asses so fast, and you will win the case. That is what scares these assholes in Philippine Bureau of Immigration and Philippine Airlines. You tell them writ of habeas corpus. My case is out there. It's out there for all the lawyers in the world to see. It won in Philippines. Now they're running scared because their kidnapping operation, extortion operation is in danger. It's probably been collecting like $50 million a year. Lucio Tan, that little extortion ring is going to stop. This is retired Kevin L. Barnes, retired U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant, out.